What is a legend, or who is one in our case? It's when decades have passed and we still use tools and strategies developed by talented traders. This video will be about one such legend. Watch until the end, and I will show you how to open profitable trades using Bill Williams' strategy. And I will show you how I managed to improve this system. Let's withdraw a 4-digit sum from the deposit and figure out in what situations you can lose lots of money. Let's go! So friends, let's begin, shall we? Today we'll be discussing a legendary strategy, so pay attention to the chart and understand its key signals. I will now talk about the signals used in aggressive trading, but also less risky strategies. Currently, we see a price consolidation zone. This is what its range looks like. The completion of this stage should be the breakout of the chart from the corridor boundary, either upwards or downwards, and we need to determine in which direction the chart will actually move. And this is where indicators come to our aid, Fractals and the Alligator. First, we will pay attention to the behavior of the alligator. So when its lines intersect and begin to diverge, this is a signal for the end of the sideways movement. For example, now the lines are moving upwards and the distance between them is increasing. This is a signal for potential price growth. Next, guys, we need to identify significant levels, the breakout of which will mark the beginning of a trend. In Bill Williams' strategy, it looks actually like this. We find candles with fractals that are not embedded in the alligator lines during the sideways movement. In our case, here is a candle with a downward arrow. And we find a candle with a fractal arrow pointing upwards. Here it is. These candles do not touch the alligator lines, and based on them, we establish support and resistance levels that will form the boundaries of the sideways movement. And thus, we get the second signal, which in conjunction with the alligator in the system will guide our actions. Let's draw the support level. Here it is, and the resistance level of the fractal mark upwards. So here it is. When the chart breaks one of the levels and we get a signal from the alligator, it will be a signal for a trade in the corresponding direction. That is, we now have a signal for potential growth from the alligator. If the current price had risen to the resistance level and gone a little bit above it, we would be talking about the beginning of an upward trend. And at the moment of the level breakout, we would open a trade for an upward trend. On the chart, the entry point of the trade is like here. But friends, there are various options for analyzing the market using such a trading system, and we will look at them with specific examples. So let's move on to trading directly. Friends, these indicators and strategy were developed by Bill Williams. He is now a recognized master. But in his books, he wrote that he lost his money for a long time until he found the perfect system for himself. So if you are currently in the red, don't despair. You are in an excellent company with true recognized trading gurus. It wasn't easy for anyone at first, but you can bring yourself closer to the day of your significant profit. For example, within a week. How to do it? Subscribe to my Telegram channel and participate in Money Boosting Marathon. Write me a private message and I will tell you all the details that you need to know. In short, from Monday to Friday every week, we trade in a closed club. I post signals, you repeat them and earn money. And you also learn together with me. 5 days, $100 to start, $5,000 at the end of the week. These are the results of my partners. You will find their reviews in my channel. I left a link to the Telegram in the video description and in the pinned comment to this video. Subscribe, friends! And now let's get back to trading and learn how to earn lots of money using the strategy of a legendary trader. Our first trade will be on a decrease, friends. Yes, despite the signal for growth from the alligator. Pay attention to the chart. Let's figure out why I decided this way. We still do not see a breakout of the resistance level if we were to build it based on the fractal above the upward arrow. For now, I would mark it based on the maximums of the candles. And below is the support level of the sideways corridor. We see a wide range of the consolidation zone. I added another indicator to the system, so its rate of change. It shows volatility in the market, and it's also a very useful tool for analyzing the market during a flat phase. And the volatility according to rate of change is currently low, so I think the level won't be broken yet. There will be a correction first, and only then the growth indicated by the alligator and fractals will occur. Well, the additional volatility indicator rate of change allows us to reap profits even on rebounds from levels when there is still little momentum for a breakout. We earned $13 using it, so let's move on, friends. Here is a textbook trade, just as I explained at the very beginning. Let's turn to the chart and draw. So here is the nearest candle with a fractal that does not touch the alligator lines. Using the mark above the green fractal arrow, we establish a resistance level which will signal the beginning of the trend. And as you can see here, the chart has broken through the level. We observe high volatility according to the rate of change signal, and the alligator lines also indicate an upward trend and are diverging. So I waited for a small pullback from the level to hedge a bit, and I'm counting on a good rise after the breakout. But the hedge wasn't needed. As you can see, the system perfectly captured the beginning of the upward trend, and I think we can already confidently say that the trade will close in profit. Let's see, friends. That's it. Super, we caught a great rise, $23 in the bank. So let's increase the investment size since today we're boosting the deposit. And let's look for a new trading opportunity. Opening a call option this time. Let's understand the reason for this decision. It's not so straightforward again. On one hand, we have an obvious decrease, but on the other hand, let's look at volatility. There is practically none now according to the rate of change signals, but at the same time the chart is in price consolidation phase within a range that we can clearly construct based on fractals. The candles with arrows down intersect with the alligator, but it's not exactly a sideways movement either. Because volatility is low, I believe that in the next minute we are unlikely to break out a consolidation. As long as there is a support level, I expect a correction from it, and only then a continuation of the price drop. I didn't consider in the analysis the red candle with a long shadow and a fractal, as it looks more like a false breakout, despite the fractal drawing an arrow and a possible level. And I was right. So now I see $44 in my account. So let's increase the investments and look for a new entry point for our trade. Not the most straightforward decision on my part, and perhaps a bit risky, but I'm still opening a put trade now. So let's see what is happening. The price of growth was dropping, we can see that from the alligator and just from the chart, and then the alligator line started to intertwine. Can we conclude that a sideways movement is starting? Theoretically, yes. Let's see where we can find some level, and here we have a fractal showing a downward arrow, so we can draw a line through this point, which was the support level. And it has now become a resistance level, assuming we're entering a sideways movement. Next, let's pay attention to volatility, and rate of change shows that it's decreasing after touching this level. Well, so I believe that the correction limit has been reached and the price will return to the consolidation zone or sideways movement in simple terms. While we can roughly draw the boundary of the sideways movement at this mark, but right now it's not so important to determine the lower boundary as it's to correctly access the market situation. Well, where did the trade go? It ended while I was explaining my logic. There's already $82 in the balance. I didn't have a minute for explanations, but I had enough to earn, and that's the main thing. So let's move on, friends. Let's open a call option for the exchange rate of the euro to Canadian dollar. So why do I think so? The volatility is high, the alligator lines intersected and are diverging upwards. If we draw a resistance level based on this fractal mark, we will see that the chart has broken through it. So I think there is good potential for growth. And the price can rise quite nicely to the next level, which we also construct based on fractals on historical chart data. As you can see, the system works excellently in capturing market trend movements and allows precise calculation of significant levels. But in Bill Williams' original strategy, rate of change was not used to determine volatility. As in the stock market, profits are made on the spread, which is not present in sideways movements. But in binary options, it's important for us to make the right forecast so rate of change complements the system perfectly and increases its profitability. My profitability is already $152, and that's wonderful. So friends, let's observe this pair. I think we can still make some money in this market. By the way, Bill Williams himself, who came up with these indicators and the system, is a vivid embodiment of the trader's main values. He didn't have luck or, unique talent, but what he did have was patience and self-discipline. He made colossal efforts and endured significant losses, but he did not stop trying to understand how the market works. That's why he became a legend, and even decades later, we still trade according to his strategy. With almost 60 years of trading experience behind him, today his indicators and trading strategies are popular on very many platforms. He started trading while still in college, and he gained knowledge from publicly available sources, so books, brochures, newspapers, and stock market journals. There was no YouTube back then, but every day he lost more. Breaking the streak of failures was facilitated by a revelation that descended upon him. Friends, for now, let's pause our conversation. I think it's time for us to check the trade. Let's open the trade for an upward movement. It's a great opportunity for that right now. So attention to the screen. What? Something seems to be wrong with the technical equipment. Where did everything go? Now everything is fine. So let's take another look at the screen and analyze the reasons for the decision. I will remind you that we previously made a profit on breaking through this resistance level, but now during the correction, the price sharply dropped back to the same level. So it's logical to expect the continuation of the rise or a bounce from the level because the signals have not changed. So the alligator rising, volatility is rising, and the target set is still not reached. So I don't see any other tendencies besides growth. This phenomenon in the market is called divergence. I have a detailed breakdown of how to trade or profit from this phenomenon, so take a look at my other videos on this channel. It will be beneficial for your brains and your wallet. And in my wallet, there are already $283, friends, and I'm investing all of them in the future trade, which I also plan to open in this pair. So let's observe the chart. And let's continue our conversation for now. I mentioned the revelation that came to Williams. Specifically, he focused on forming his own strategy, and scientific research helped him with this. He even wrote and defended a dissertation on the topic stock exchange, in which he talked about new methods of market analysis. They then became the basis of his system. According to Williams, the main reason for the failures on newbies is the desire to fit market movements into formulas. But due to the high volatility of the market, today's winning strategies can bring big losses tomorrow. That's why when I tell you do not get fixated on settings and formulas, it's not just my opinion. Many stock trading gurus thought and still think the same way. To organize and measure the chaotic structure, Williams applied fractal geometry. So he compared the market to chaos because the market is as difficult to analyze, but it strives for orderliness. And this understanding formed the basis of the fractals indicator. To understand how the indicator works, you need to understand the concept of a fractal. It's a repeating pattern where the same configuration repeats at different scales. Williams assumed that the market's chaos is built on repeating patterns of trader behavior, so he was able to describe it mathematically and created a fractal indicator based on this description. Well, that's enough theory. It's time to put Williams' ideas into practice. That's why I just opened a trade for an upward movement. We had a growth phase that hit a local level, so you can see that. A green fractal arrow appeared. After that, volatility started to decrease, and as a result, there was a correction from the formed resistance level. Let's continue. We previously had a level at this mark. We also constructed it based on fractal. It was a resistance level, but now it's becoming support for the chart. Well, I believe the price won't go below it and will bounce back up. And overall, it's likely that a sideways movement phase will begin within the formed price corridor. You can see that. Excited can lead either further up or a reversal. Either can happen, but we'll think about that later when we have new data. For now, let's lock in the profit. There are over $500 in the balance, so let's observe how the sideways movement ends and if we can profit from it. Right now, I think we can justifiably open an option with a forecast for an increase in the quote rate. The chart broke through the level. It didn't linger in the corridor for long. The level is broken and volatility is rising. So what else do we need? All of the prerequisites for growth are there, so I waited for a small pullback and I opened the trade. So I'm waiting for the growth. But overall, searching for trading movements takes much more time. Most of the time, the market doesn't move anywhere, so according to various estimates, only from 15 to 30% of the time, the market changes in line with some trends appearing here and there. It's during this time that most traders trade and make profits in the market, but with binary options, we can make trades more often and earn more because we can profit even in sideways movement if we know how. The trade confidently closes, friends. We fell just a little short of the first 1,000 in deposits, so let's fix that. And to do that, let's look for a new suitable situation in the market. Not long to wait, I'm opening a short trade this time. Let me explain why I did this. Here is a classic situation at the market reversal. Look at this candle, which is not within the alligator's lines. We draw a level at the fractal mark of this candle, and we see that the chart has broken this level. Yes, volatility is low now, but the breakout has already effectively occurred. So now the fact of the breakout is more important to us. So I'm waiting for the price to drop now, and the low volatility only indicates that the drop won't be too swift this time. The alligator's lines haven't fully crossed yet, so you could call my trade overly risky. If you want to be 100% sure and you have little experience, wait for the full set of signals according to your strategy. The decline is not going as actively, but it's enough for me to make a profit. And this time the numbers in the balance are beautiful. A lot of sevens. Do you believe in numerology? Write in the comments if you consider 7 a lucky number. Well, let's move on for now. Opened a short trade Fox, invested $1,000 in it. It's already a substantial amount, but I'm confident in my decision, and let me explain why. We see that the fractal arrow lit up, meaning a resistance level formed in this case, after which a correction occurred and the chart returned to the level. Looking at the volatility, it's decreasing at the moment. So what does that mean? Most likely there won't be enough force for a breakout even on a second attempt. So I expect the chart to bounce off the level again. And then there could be variations in this scenario. Either it will be a short-term sideways movement, as we've already seen, or prolonged, or even a market reversal. It's not entirely clear yet, as new data is indeed to answer these questions. And folks, I remind you that in such a situation, it's important to choose the entry point into the trade as close to the level as possible to avoid unexpected sharp movements of the chart. Just like I did this time, a slightly lower entry and it could have resulted in a loss, but we're ending with a profit and we'll find a new entry point for the trade. Opened a short trade and immediately the price started to rise. But let's not beat ourselves up. I'm not guessing, I'm acting logically. So let me again explain. Though there are no fractals, but we can still identify levels without them. So I see such a resistance level here. The alligator also signals the start of a sideways phase as its lines begin to intertwine. So the volatility also decreases when it encounters the level. So what could be the prerequisites for a breakout above this level? I don't see them, to be honest. Although the chart doesn't agree with me yet, perhaps it was worth waiting for more obvious signals and not rushing. Although there is not enough strength for active growth, false breakouts are still possible. But I'm only human and I can make mistakes too. No one achieves a 100% result. It's absolutely normal. But this time the gods of expiration and charts are on my side, so I'm closing the trade in the positive. But folks, do not do the same if you are not confident in your abilities. Or if the risk of losing money is significant for you, then choose a conservative strategy and only with experience under your belt, try to take risks. Remember the main rule in trading: the amount on the balance is not the main indicator. What's more important is the proportion of successful trades. So when the quantity reaches a level above 60%, then the quantity will turn into quality, into actual sum on your deposit. I think we can open another trade. Now is a good moment. Why for an increase this time? So pay attention to the screen and let's analyze. Well, we can still build a support level since the chart has shifted to sideways. And that's obvious in my opinion, especially since this level coincides with previous fractals and candle highs. Again, let's use the rate of change. It doesn't show direction, but it gives a signal about the level of market volatility. It's low in the market right now. The alligator's lines are intervened, that we clearly see, so I think the sideways movement is clearly discernible, and trading from its boundaries is the most correct strategy at the moment. So let's summarize. Bill Williams' strategy perfectly captures trends. These are clear signals that particularly don't fail. Want to trade trends? Use it. Aim to increase profitability and also trade in sideways markets at the rate of change or another market volatility indicator to the system. With that, I conclude the trading session with a symmetrical sum on the balance. Let's withdraw part of it to my wallet and see how fund transfer works. It works very simply. I will draw money in crypto. You can choose different coins, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and so on, but I will choose USDT. I like it better. Today I will withdraw $4,000. To do this, I enter the amount in the required window. The second window is also very necessary because it's where I specify the address of my wallet. Press the continue button and wait for the request to be processed by the broker, and it's done. The money is flying through the blockchain networks. Let's check the history, and we see that the requested amount has been deducted from the trading balance. Now we just have to wait for the coveted notification of its crediting to my account. There are $470 left on the balance to invest them in the new trades, and while the request is being processed, let's wait. Until it's completed, it can be cancelled. In about 20 minutes, it will change. So let's come back in this time and show everything clearly. Re-engagement, I'm back in the transaction history and now it's completed. As you can see by the status, $4,000 have come to my wallet, which I'm happy about. I won't deceive. That's all. There are no secrets or tricks here. Let's say goodbye in that note box. Do you want to receive more information from the world of trading and cool reviews of trading strategies? Subscribe to my channel on YouTube and Telegram. I left the link in the video description. Like it if you enjoyed it, dislike if you didn't. Let's be honest. Hit the bell so that we can see each other more often. I will definitely delight you with more of my new videos. With that, I bid farewell to each of you. Bye bye!